Hello, and welcome back to another Chris McPherson show. Live watch along NBL action coming at you again. It's the Melbourne United side hosting Illawarra Hawks, and this is a championship series rematch from last season, and we cannot wait for it to get underway. It is game day, game night, and we're not far away from tip off. Just under 8 minutes till we get started, and we can't wait for it. Of course, if it's your first time here, make sure to hit subscribe. Give the video a like as well. We'd love that. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Don't be afraid to get involved in the comments. We like a nice, active, and engaged comment section as we go along with these games. Intending for 2 games tonight as we go through Australian time. But as I said, starting off with Melbourne United up against the Illawarra Hawks. A big game for both sides. Melbourne United on the slide. 4 straight losses. Remembering they started the season 9-0. So a huge game for these two teams, and really looking forward to seeing what they can dish up. Illawarra have been an underperformance despite the star-studded lineup that they have, led by JaVale McGee, Tyler Harvey, their captain, Will Davo Hickey. They just haven't been quite performing. But in a lead-up, it's been a day of breaking news in the NBL. The first of those, a big out for Melbourne United. Chris Goulding, the captain, the talisman for Melbourne United, the veteran, who admittedly had a bit of an off night against Sydney on Sunday, but he is out of this game with illness. So it's going to be a big hole for them to fill. So the good news is Jesse Edwards back in on the bench, so that's going to be a big plus for them. But yeah, certainly some big boots to fill. The starting fives for the two teams, let's have a bit of a run through those. Tyson Walker, Finn Delaney, Tanner Krebs will step in for Melbourne United into the starting 5. Fabian Kurzlovic and Milton Doyle. That is still a stacked starting 5, that is for certain. The bench, Campbell Blogg comes onto the bench, Dash Daniels, Malith Mashar, Tom Wilson, Jesse Edwards, the import back in as well, Kyle Bowen, Tom Coppins, and their captain tonight, Shea Illy. They're going to let it fly. They're going to look for points. They're going to try and crash the boards and be dominant on the offensive and defensive rebounds. Their big goal, make sure you keep Illawarra under 90, and that should be the key to getting the job done here. Defensive pressure against the Hawks side that if they get running, will get into the arm wrestle with you. For the Illawarra Hawks, they're starting 5, JaVale McGee, Tyler Harvey, their captain, Will Davo Hickey, Wani Swakala Bullock, Mason Peatling into the starting 5, and the bench, Daniel Greeder, the grisly hustler from the bench with that long hair, Bawali Bales, the outside shooter, Johnny Narkle, the young gun, Luca Yates, Todd Blanchfield, and the other American import, QJ Peterson. It is shaping up really, really well for this clash. But it's going to be interesting to see what these two teams dish up. Illawarra, what's their focus going to be, you might ask? Well, Justin Tatum's got a bit of a game plan to take this one on, and it's going to be headlined by a number of factors. Keeping JaVale McGee firing, defending that and shutting down the three-point line. They know they match up well with Melbourne United, and they will go after Edwards. Hey, D-Funk, that is probably something I can look at for later games. Trying to do something now tonight would probably be a bit of a challenge, I think. But yeah, certainly something I can probably have a look at. It's a tough one in terms of just figuring out the layout, but I'll take that as a little project over the Christmas break to try and get some things happening for you. And certainly see what I can do. It's just hard trying to scrape the data and pull it across or get a screenshot that's not going to be too small. But let me have a play around over the next few days now that I'm wrapping up tomorrow with my day job, Monday to Friday for the Christmas holidays. And I'll see if I can do that, but won't be for tonight, mate. But love the idea. Keep them coming. Great idea. In the meantime, we are now getting set for this game between Illawarra and Melbourne United. The Championship Series rematch. It'll be interesting to see how fit Jesse Edwards is. Joel, welcome back, mate. Good to have you tuning in from Bangkok. Good to have you on board. You go in Melbourne here. They should win, but these games, as we've seen, they're not on paper, are they? So it'll be interesting. Certainly haven't really had a look just as of yet as to, I guess, what the wagering markets are. Has anyone had a look yet? Melbourne would be favourites, I'd more than hazard a guess. Yeah, flash score. That's a good idea. Thank you, mate. I'll have a look at that and just see if we can marry it up and put some things in, maybe out here somewhere. Covering some of those spaces because there's not much going on, as someone pointed out last night, on my walls at the moment until we fit out the new room for streaming. That'll be a project. It might even be an off-season project. We'll see how we go. Probably not a Christmas one. But yeah, certainly in terms of the game tonight. Let's have a look. I'll bring up some betting odds and see what we can have a look at. Right, so with only a few minutes to go, there's plenty of sport on at the moment, that's for sure. So, yeah, Melbourne United, very short favourites. The line 5.5, the total 190.5. So there you go. Yeah, awesome. NE, mate. Good to have you on, mate. Look, I just love the basketball. Try and do as much as I can midweek. The weekend game's a little bit harder because they're pretty awkward time slots for you guys over in the US, and that's where a lot of the guys are tuning in from. So there'll be plenty more coming. Still up in the air if we'll be able to do tomorrow night, but back next week, and it'll be Monday and Tuesday night. There'll be some games to cover. So, and then I'll have a couple of days off over the Christmas period and be back into it. Once we get back, probably ripping into sort of just before New Year's and around that period as well. So New Year's Eve, that is, and then we'll get into it again in the New Year. So try and cover as much as I can, but really appreciate the feedback and love having you all on here. And thank you to those of you who've already given the video a like and those who've hit subscribe. Great to have you on board. Continuing to try and grow it. One day, the dream is just to run this media sort of world full time, doing this, covering content as well, as you'll see if you check out the channel. We do a bunch of different other stuff, but as Defunk's done, always open to some suggestions. Love that. Love the thoughts put into it. And if I can add little bits that are going to help, then I will do what I can to get those. The one thing I do know is the more moving parts, though, the more things that can go wrong. But if we can get them there 90% of the time, that's a long way into the battle. As I was touching on before, plenty of news today in the NBL world as well. Brisbane Bullets have parted ways with their head coach today, Stu Lash. I'll come back to you in one sec, Joel. Stu Lash parted ways with Brisbane. He's had a tough run up there this year with injuries and turnover, unsettled imports as well. So their assistant coach, Darryl McDonald, will step into the role for the remainder of the year, we believe. It's certainly an interesting one when we have a look at those player props, mate. I'll run some stats for you, though, and we'll go through what the thoughts are, Joel, leading into it. I mean, JaVale McGee is just an absolute monster, as anyone who saw him, win in the NBA multiple times would know. But let's have a look at the stat leaders. It'll be an interesting one for Melbourne. There might be some opportunity for some higher points. And, yeah, when you have a look at that, that's obviously a chance for some other players to star. But, yeah, in terms of the leaders in this game going in, who can we look at? Will Hickey, maybe for some assists. He's averaging 7.5 since he's come back mid-season. That's probably a bit of value. JaVale McGee is going to dominate the boards and the blocks for Illawarra. Points-wise, again, there might be an opportunity for some of the Illawarra guards if you're having a look there in terms of who will get up. So, I'm thinking maybe a Harvey, maybe a Davo Hickey in terms of their points and assists as well. That'd be kind of where I'd be looking. Milton Doyle's going to have to carry a lot of load for Melbourne tonight if they're going to go deep. And, yeah, so we'll see on that. But, you're asking for Perth and Southeast Melbourne. I missed that. I was reading for this game. Southeast Melbourne, Nathan Sobey might be a big chance, I think, to go pretty big. Have a look at him for some points. He's due another big game, and he likes the big games that are meaningful for them against the other mid-table teams. Outside of that, maybe have a look at Angus Glover for 3-pointers. You can get 2 or more at a decent price. That could be decent. Apart from that, that'd probably be my main ones. If you can get some other players under 2 or 3 threes for Southeast Melbourne, they've got a lot of guys that like to shoot the long rock. But that would be my thoughts, Joel. And we're underway here. Illawarra have got the ball to start. Knocked out a play by Melbourne. Illawarra will get it in at the offensive baseline. 7 seconds left on the shot clock. No good there for Illawarra. And working it around now. Let's see what they can conjure. Melbourne United, can they get the first score? Walker going to work. Pops it wide. Faint for a 3-pointer. Krabs. Does it. Drains the 3. That's a good start for the man filling in for CG43. Yeah, hopefully that helped, Joel. It was very, very quick look without pulling too much apart. But again, I don't wager too much these days because I don't have the time. Oh, no. Well, they got away with that, I think. Illawarra, they just threw it, a pass. They were looking for JaVale McGee, but JaVale McGee wasn't looking. Now Illawarra for 3. They bang one back through Davo Hickey. We'll be here for the 2 games tonight. Looking forward. It's going to be a late night here in New South Wales, in Australia. And we've got a foul here against Illawarra. Won't be a shooting foul, I don't believe. Again, some good 3-point shooting early. We saw similar. It is a shooting foul. They've called a push in the shot. Walker gets his first one. Minute 22 gone. Gets his second as well. And he's underway here. Melbourne getting off to a decent start. Illawarra trying to fight. Davo Hickey running the point. This he goes for a little layup. Leaves it well short. Krebs takes a rebound and Melbourne are on the fast break. He's got Delaney with him. Decides to swing it out. Walker's going to go for 3 and drains it. Nothing but net. Good start for the United. Jesse Edwards is up and about on the bench. Davo Hickey lays it off. Peatling working. Ball's contested, but we're going to call a foul on Milton Doyle. Are we? No fouls on Illawarra. There you go. Didn't see that coming. 2 minutes gone. Melbourne possession in the offensive half. Looking to extend this early lead. Another foul here. Inbound again. Walker lobs it in. Kerslovic sets the screen. Walker around, drops it back for a deep 3 from Krebs. Ball goes half in the hoop and spits back out. Davo Hickey takes the rebound, drives it down to half court where Tyler Harvey is. Harvey runs around the McGee screen. Davo Hickey runs it in. Nice little jumper, 2 points back for the Hawks. Walker now. Swings it wide. Delaney, out-muscled. Was outmatched there by McGee under the hoop. 7:15 on the clock here in the first quarter. Tyler Harvey turns Walker inside out, goes in, pops the ball over, but it was too far back for McGee, and all of a sudden, Melbourne United on the quick break. Krebs with another 2 points. And Krebs off to a flyer. He's got 5, as does Walker. Illawarra. Sakala Bullock swings it wide now. Davo Hickey drives into the lane, looking for a bounce pass. Again, a connection between he and McGee is just a step off. Walker for Krebs. He goes for 3. Leaves it short. Rebounded. Peatling. 6:35 on the clock. Great to have you all with us. Get involved in the chat. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Good to have some of the regulars back. As Illawarra drain a 3 to get them back in. Tyler Harvey kicking it up a notch. Walker for Kerslovic on the 3-point line at 45 degrees. Swing it around, and that pass was lucky. Kerslovic leaves the 3-pointer short. And Illawarra come away with it. 10-8, 6:06 on the clock. Harvey wrapping around the screen, flicks it out wide. 3-point shot for Peatling, too heavy. Doesn't go. Doyle takes the rebound. 10-8, 5:55 to come in this first quarter. Milton Doyle just gets the step around, doesn't get the shot to go though. Good block. Peatling tried to shovel it back in, but his feet landed out of bounds first. So it'll be a baseline inbound at the attacking half for Melbourne United here. Still leading by 2, 14 on the shot clock. Davo Hickey takes a seat. After a frenetic first 4 and a bit minutes, QJ Peterson comes in. Jesse Edwards in for Melbourne United. Back from injury. Edwards gets a nice early touch. Steps back, gives it off. Walker for Illy. Illy there now. Turns it over though. Smuggler Bullock takes it away. Tyler Harvey. Taking on Machar. Harvey goes for 3. Peatling tries to rebound. Out-rebounded by Edwards. Delaney going to work. That looked like travel. He took about 5 steps, but he got fouled first. So Finn Delaney will go to the line. No points for him yet. 3 players all on 5 points across the game so far. Walker, Krebs, and Hickey all on 5. No one double digit, more than single rebounds at the moment, and nor assists. Delaney gets the first one, extends the lead. Again, good to have you all with us. My dog decides to join the stream and have a little wander in. She likes to meander in and out as she sees fit. Delaney with another one. 12-8, 5:18 on the clock. QJ Peterson dribbling in heavy traffic. Shea Illy double teams him, along with Milton Doyle, and that's going to be a foul. Right in front of the referee too for Doyle. He's going to sit down after one foul and have a little breather. It's interesting watching last night, Adelaide against Sydney. Bryce Cotton just playing such heavy minutes. So reliant on one man, the Adelaide team, which makes you worried as Peterson turns Illy inside out, gets some space, drops it back. Peatling for 3. Doesn't go. Melbourne fight over the rebound and Blanchfield comes away with it. Can't get the jump shot to go, and Melbourne take the second chance to rebound it away. Illy's out there. Runs around the screen set by Edwards. Drops it back. Kyle Bowen now. Back to Illy. Illy drives in. Peterson just pops the ball out of his hand. Nice dispossession there. Good steal. Now QJ Peterson carves his way into the paint. Leaves Edwards on the floor. Beats 2. Can't get it to go home. They keep trying to tip it in. Eventually they get the rebound. Long 3-pointer for Harvey, and he drains it. That's a great result. 1-point ball game. I reckon they had about 4 or 5 goes at tapping that back in the bucket after the missed attempt here. He couldn't get it done. Peterson overshot it. Peatling kept going. Eventually rebounded it. Lobbed it straight back down the lane. And Harvey just drains it. No mistake. Tyler Harvey now up to 6 points. Leading the way for Illawarra. Great to have you all tuning in. Don't be shy. Get involved in the comments. Give the video a like. Hit subscribe. All that wonderful stuff that helps us grow the channel. Going to try and be busy over the next few days. I had the game last night. That was a thriller for those that joined us. I know, Joel, you were in the comments yesterday as Sydney pipped Adelaide. But again, 2 games tonight. We've got this one into the Perth and Southeast Melbourne game. Looking forward to seeing how that shapes up. As I said, in this game, Melbourne United without their veteran, Chris Golding, big out for them. It's going to be some big heavy lifts for their guards, the likes of Milton Doyle, Tanner Krebs. Even Dash Daniels will play a role there. Kyle Bowen, Tom Coppins, all lots of work to do. But the one thing that's been off so far tonight has been the combo of Will Hickey, or Davo Hickey as he's better known, and JaVale McGee. McGee so far, 1 assist, 1 rebound, no points. Quite by his own standards through 5 minutes and 40. Both teams using plenty of rotations. Mason Peatling and Tyler Harvey are yet to have a spell, but outside of that, everyone else has been rotated. Harvey's still out there, just looking after the timeout. Peatling's still out there too. Dash Daniels on the court for United, turning a couple of players inside out, gets the outside of QJ Peterson. Goes to Machar, who overshoots the 3. Edwards takes it, but he's fouled by Tyler Harvey. Won't be a shooting foul, it'll be a baseline ball. Attacking half for Melbourne United. Machar working around, swings it back to Edwards. Edwards drives into the paint against Peatling, tries to get the hit and spin. Doesn't go for him. Hustling over the ball, Peatling comes away with it. Couldn't quite keep it in bounds, though. He was travelling out of play as he tried to throw it back in, but his foot hit down. So 12-11, 3:55 on the clock. Harvey's got 6 points. Will Davo Hickey with 5. Walker and Krebs for Melbourne United, both 5 points as well. Walker working around the 3-point line on the 45-degree angle left wing. Lofts it in for Bowen, who swings wide to the right wing. Illy thinks about the 3, goes in for the jumper, draws the foul. He'll get the end one. 14-11, and he'll go to the line with 3:42 on the clock in this first quarter. And great to have you all with us. If you haven't already, make sure to give the video a like, hit subscribe, and get involved in those comments. Always love to know where you're tuning in from. We've got some guys from the US. We've got Joel tuning in from Bangkok. As the free throw goes down, 15-11. Quick breaking ball for Greeter. He's on off the bench. Doesn't get it to go, though. Leaves it well short. Dash Daniels comes straight down. Melbourne go quickly back. The ball spits out for Edwards with a little casual dunk. 17-11. 3:23 on the clock here in the first quarter. QJ Peterson splits out to the left wing. Drains a 3. Bang. Hey, Josh, good to have you, mate. Whereabouts in the US are you watching from? Early hours over there. Walker going up, tries to get it down, but he draws the foul. Little push. So Walker will go to the line for 2. No luck. Illawarra inbounds. Nah, Melbourne are in the bonus, but I miscalled that. That foul actually went against Melbourne for a push. This foul, though, on Dan Greeter will be Shea Illy going to the line. So apologies for that, Daniel. But Daniel Greeter now gives a foul, so Melbourne will go to the line in the bonus. That's correctly read by Daniel Scott there. Good to have you all tuning in, guys. 2 minutes 57 on the clock here. 3-point ball game. Shea Illy, the Melbourne United captain, at the free throw line for 2 free throws. It's his first. Makes it 4-point game. They led by as much as 6 earlier in this quarter. As we saw yesterday when Adelaide led by 13 at half time and they got taken to overtime. Illy gets another. Anything's possible in this league, and realistically, Sydney should have closed that out if it wasn't for 2 missed free throws late from Xavier Cooks and a silly screen foul from Tim Suarez. QJ Peterson, nice little flick past JaVale McGee under the hoop. He gets clipped and he went down awkwardly. A little bit of a worry for the big man. Takes a couple of boys to help him back up, but he looks like he's okay. His knee just twisted awkwardly. He's got a little bit of a hobble. I'm going to have to watch this space. And that was Walker just ran through his right leg. I don't think there's any intent in it, but it was just awkward. He tried to get across to try and shut down another man and clipped McGee's leg. McGee at the line now for his first points of the game. Drains the first. Gets one back for Illawarra, 19-15. 2:43 on the clock. McGee, so far this season, averaging 32.5 points, 13 rebounds, and 1.5 blocks against Melbourne this season. He gets 2. Oh, wrong way there. 19-17. I'll fix that, guys. 19-16, sorry. 2:37 on the clock. 12 on the shot clock for Melbourne United. Illy step back for 3. Doesn't go. Rebound. Bowen did well to keep it in bounds. Kerslovic, lucky he's tall to reel that in. Illy again. McGee gets a hand in. Falls for Kerslovic. Dash Daniels thinks about a 3 from wide on the right wing. Goes round for the 45. Doesn't go. Bowen gets a hand, but Davo Hickey comes away with it. Peterson now driving through the lane. Gets to the free throw line. Jumper. Doesn't drop, though. JaVale McGee trying to swat it away from everyone. Out muscling, out powering, out stepping, almost out of bounds. Throws it all the way back to halfway for Davo Hickey. My goodness, that was frenetic. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Swatted by Melbourne. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Peatling from deep 2 gets some net, but that's all he gets. That'll be out of bounds or expiration of the shot clock, 24-second violation. Either way you want to take it. Great to have you all tuning in, guys. Those of you tuning in from the US, Thailand, wherever you might be joining us from, always good to have you all with us. Make sure you hang around tonight. Double header, Melbourne, Illawarra here into Perth versus Southeast Melbourne later on. I'm going to burn almost the literal midnight oil, as we'll probably wrap up just before midnight my time. And for someone like myself who normally is an early to bed, early riser, it's going to be a longer night than usual. Milton Doyle's getting a behavioural warning, a little bit of a tackle almost there. So not quite a tech foul, not quite an ejection, but certainly on notice, Milton Doyle. It's the second time he's given away a foul when in possession. 19-18. Tyler Harvey with the jumper. He's up to 8 points now, leading all comers. Kerslovic swings it wide. Krebs on the spin around. He's drawn 2. Someone's got to be open. Can't find him. He goes to Doyle. Doyle's compressed. 7 on the shot clock. Drives to the edge of the lane. Spinning around. Dave O'Hickey in his grill. Stops the shot. Doesn't get over. Now Harvey. 1:20 on the clock. Shovels it back. Harvey lofts it forward for McGee, and it's left well short. Kerslovic takes it away, and McGee's not happy. Delaney goes to Walker. Walker up and in for 2. 21-18, 1:05 to come in the first quarter. McGee almost gets the tip in there. Takes a secondary shot. Hey, Cecil, how are you? 3-point shot for Walker. Doesn't go either. Time ticking down. QJ Peterson just steals it away from Milton Doyle. Goes to the hoop. Uncontested. That's the way we like to see for the Hawks. Back to a 1-point ball game. Let us know where you're tuning in from, guys. And let us know for those of you who've got a sneaky little wager on. We always like to try and cheer those on for you. Walker for 3. Hits this one. That was clean. Straight as an arrow. 24-20, 23 seconds on the clock, 23.7 to be specific. Tyson Walker now up to double digits. First player to hit double-digit points. He's got 10 points and 1 assist so far. JaVale McGee, 2 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Tyler Harvey's got 8 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. Interesting enough, Mason Peatling leading the rebound count, 4 rebounds. Not a lot of rebounds, 4 in total for Melbourne United so far. So Illawarra are leading the charge on the boards. They go to work here. Chewing the clock, managing it down, 2.5 second differential. JaVale McGee goes to the hoop. Another miss for the big man. Tries to swat it away. Melbourne United will have 3 to go to score. Walker from mid-court almost banked it in. That'll be quarter time. 24-20. Melbourne United take the lead at the first break. They've led from pillar to post. Illawarra have not led this game just yet. A few little knocks and niggles for Illawarra. Tyler Harvey hobbling. JaVale McGee copped a knock before. Might be something to watch here. Can they stay fit and healthy? That will be the query. As always, good to have you all here. Jump into those comments. Let us know where you're tuning in from. If you haven't already, give the video a like, hit subscribe, get into the comments. Pretty free-flowing, pretty friendly. Love to have a chat. Love to engage with you as much as we can. And if you've got some suggestions on how we can improve the streams, Defunk, I think across all the streams that I've done so far, and I've done a few of these now through the NBL season, I think across all sports now, I can tell you what we're up to in terms of live watch-alongs, but we're getting up to probably around 30 so far on the channel. That is, certainly. There you go. Yeah, I think tonight's the 25th, this one. So 25th live watch along we've done. I think you're the first person to give a bit of a suggestion on how we can spruce up the stream a little bit more. So always open to those suggestions. Doesn't mean that we'll implement them all, but I'll certainly investigate them. Around that and doing all the other episodes, the daily episodes and podcasts that we punch out on the channel. Been plenty of content. For any of you that are cricket fans, I know a few of the Americans last night were talking about needing to maybe get into a little bit of cricket. We do plenty of cricket content. T20's probably a little bit more attention span friendly. Test cricket's, it's a pretty big bite, 5 days of action. We're in the middle of a huge series, Australia and England at the moment, the third test of that series. But unlike when you guys play a 5-game or 7-game series in, the basketball, whether over in the NBA or the NBL or any other series, Major League Baseball, etc., these guys, even if it's 3-0, they'll still play the last 2. So even if it's already wrapped up after 3 out of 5, they will still play those last 2 5-day tests. Ticket sales, rubbing the opponent into the dirt, etc., etc., is always big. So that's a little bit different from our vantage point. Not a best of 5, just a 5-game series. 5 games, all 5 days, well, if they go that long. But here, let's go through the numbers. Tyson Walker leading all scorers. He's got 10 points. Nothing else to go with that. Tanner Krebs, 5 points. He's got 1 rebound to his name. And Shea Illy, 5 points. He's got 1 assist so far. So we're about to get back underway for the second quarter. Illawarra with work to do. Melbourne United in possession. Walker's got the ball. Fella Harvey, 8 points for Illawarra. There's bodies tangle here. JaVale McGee's down on the deck again. There's 3 players all on their backs on the pine. Delaney, Edwards, and McGee. Wiley Bale's in for Illawarra. Delaney's aggrieved. Foul called on the screen, so it's against Delaney. So it's Illawarra ball. Bale's running point. QJ Peterson sweeps around to the left wing. Drives in to the lane, gives it to JaVale McGee. Little one-arm hook and absolutely misses everything. Doesn't even get a clip of the hoop. McGee is not on so far tonight. That is fair to say. Edwards now on the 45. Drops it back. Delaney for 3. Drains it. He had a point to prove after not liking that foul. Ja'Cory, yeah, certainly looking at that for the future, mate. Appreciate that. Defunk suggested it before, so we'll look into that and make sure we can do that in the future. We'll work out what the best way to do it is without completely losing the layout of the screen. Another 2 going the way of Walker, 29-20. All of a sudden, they get out to a bit of a breaking lead here, and Illawarra will take a timeout. But yeah, appreciate that, guys. Certainly we'll look at that over the coming days as we look to some more streams and, worst case, hopefully have something in action for you by the new year. This comp will run well through into the new year. So, yeah, certainly happy to try and improve what we can here. Speaking of those stats, let's run through some of those other ones that we missed. Will Hickey, 5 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Mason Peatley, no points, but 4 rebounds, leading the rebound count and an assist. And QJ Peterson, 5 points, shooting at 33%. 1 rebound, 1 assist. So there we go. Yeah, if I can work out a good way to format them or just to screen grab them from some sites live. The other thing I've got to be cognizant of is just making sure that if we're grabbing them from sites live, that those live sites are keeping up to speed with us as well and the stream, etc. So we'll have a look at that. Love the idea though, gents. Edwards rebounds. He came off the pine, so he's only played 3 minutes 29, but he's got 3 boards so far. 2 defensive, 1 offensive. Ja'Cory. And yeah, happy if you throw something in the comments to try and have a look. Just seeing on the coverage, I'm presenting Dash Daniels with a birthday cake. I tell you what, for you guys over in the US, keep an eye out on this kid. Turned 18 today. And yeah, he's his brother Dyson, obviously in the NBL already. NBA already, I should say. But Dash projected to be a top 10 pick, maybe even a top 5. So, look, yeah, certainly one to watch, that is for sure. As the Hawks get a couple back. Good bucket out of the timeout. Minute 15 gone in this second quarter. Walker for 3, and he's fouled in the act by Bales, so he will go to the line for 3 shots. Walker gets the first. Joe Lawalachul is playing in the next game, Jacory, so no involvement in this game. He'll be playing for Perth in the next game. So gets all 3 of those free throws. But again, we'll be bringing that one to you later on, so hang around. Hit subscribe if you haven't already, Jacory, and stick around for that one if you've got a wager on JLA. 3-point shot, QJ Peterson. That nearly cleared the backboard. That was big. Rebound, Delaney. 10-point margin. Biggest lead of the day for Melbourne United. Make that 12 points. Delaney gets a 2. They are flying here, Melbourne United. JaVale McGee wrestling with everyone and ends up losing the ball. Hands it over. Krebs drives down the court. Flicks it up. Doesn't get it. But we've got a foul on Shea Illy coming through. I don't know that this will be a shooting foul. Illy's going to sit down, so it doesn't sound like it. Or has it gone against Illy? No, it's against McGee on Edwards. There we go. That was interesting. There was a lot of bodies that came together. No, it's not going to be a shooting foul. So we're okay. Ball inbound with Doyle. Greeter trying to block it. They get it in just in time. Edwards at the 3-point line. Drives into the lane against McGee. Gets over the top. Gets 2 points. They're putting them to the sword here early, Melbourne. Finally, the big man, JaVale McGee, gets one back. Daniel Greeter's gone down holding his knee. 3-point shot away. He's still on the ground trying to stay out of the way. As Melbourne get another couple. (38-24), 7:17 on the clock. Let's have a watch what happened here on the replay. Greeter just got cleaned up. He was coming across. He wasn't set. He and Edwards collided and he came off second best. Oh my. Mason Peatling pops it into the lane. Tyler Harvey, little hook shot round the body. 2 points back. Illawarra need a few more of those. Harvey's into double digits. He's up to 10. Delaney goes all the way himself. Can't get it to go home. Edwards goes for the tip-in. Gets the rebound. Greeter steals it away. A little bit of revenge. Sweeps across to the right wing. Spins away against Doyle. Loses possession. Tried to do it all himself and it wasn't happening. Now Walker cuts into the lane. Pops it back out. Delaney for 3. Feints. Steps back. Gives it to Doyle. Way back. Almost at halfway. Doyle up against Greeter. The screen from Edwards. Doyle for 3. Doesn't go. McGee the rebound. Yeah, let us know, guys, if you're having a wager. Always interesting to see what everyone's backed. McGee on the dribble here. Gives it off to Dave O'Hickey. He's on the 45 out towards the left wing. Drives into the paint here. Up against 2 bodies, and Edwards is too big and too strong. Just slaps it away to the favour of Tyson Walker. Walker now gets outside. Hickey threaded the needle with that pass. Krebs drains a 3 from the left wing. That was magical ball movement. I don't know how he saw that lane for the pass open up, but he did. Slung it around the bodies and threw a couple of others. And then Krebs did what Krebs does and drained an open 3 from the wing. Now McGee steps in. He's at the corner of the lane. Gives it off to a sweeping Harvey. Bounce pass for JaVale. JaVale leaves it short. Tries to get his own rebound. Can't control it. Out of bounds. And JaVale's going to take a seat. Things just not quite sticking for Illawarra, guys. That is for certain. Great to have you with us if you're just joining us. Love it if you gave the video a like. Get involved in the comments. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Let us know if you've got a little wager on, what you think might play out in this game. Can Illawarra come back? It's a bit of a deficit here. Melbourne United looking to break a 4-game losing streak. No Chris Golding in action. As we almost get to the midway point of this second quarter, they lead by 15. Milton Doyle pop pass over the top for Kurzlovic. He's going to go to work. Going to try and dominate the paint with no JaVale McGee. They didn't quite work out. One is Swakala Bullock goes for it. Spits out awkwardly. Falls for Blanchfield. Blanchfield deep three. Flat and hard, doesn't get it. There's a foul though, as Luca Yates tries to get possession. Not in the bonus just yet, so it'll be Illawarra ball inbound on the baseline. Luca Yates, the backup big. They go wide. Harvey for three. Boom. Drains it. Nice and easy. Tyler Harvey. He gets up to 13 points. Second leading scorer for the match behind Tyson Walker, who's 15. Melbourne United call a timeout. Let's have a quick run through those. Tyler Harvey, as I said, 13 points. 1 rebound, 1 assist so far. Other scorers, JaVale McGee now up to 6 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. For Melbourne United, Tyson Walker leading 15 points, including 5 free throws. No rebounds, 1 assist. Finn Delaney, 7 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists and a steal. Delaney for 21 PRA. It's not too bad. He's off to a pretty good start. 7 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. So he's already at 12. He's past halfway. That's good stuff. And then we've also got Jesse Edwards, 6 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. What are you chasing there, Jacory? How many rebounds are you chasing for Edwards? So they're the leaders at the moment in most of the categories. Interestingly enough, Melbourne United have already tallied up 5 steals. 2 for Kurzlovic, 2 for Krebs, 1 for Delaney. So the biggest risk for UNE is that hopefully this doesn't happen, but I can't imagine they would with Delaney. But if they decide to ice him, if they get too far in front here, but maybe he'll be at 21 PRA before that. Bowen's out there now. Drops it back for Doyle. Back to Bowen again. Swings it wide. Daniels drops it off. Kurzlovic into the lane. Tries to get over the top. Leaves it. Comes off Harvey last. It'll be Melbourne ball. Baseline offensive end. No, yes. Baseline offensive end. Daniels will inbound. Bowen trying to get wide. Doyle's there. Blanchfield just slaps it away. Got 13 on the shot clock. Blanchfield grinding, working hard here, getting into Bowen's grill. Swakala Bullock trying to keep up with Doyle. They've got the mismatch now. There we go. They sorted it out. Trying to push him off. Kurzlovic tries to get open in the paint. Daniels goes. Can't get it to go. Bowen rebounds. Can't get it away. Sorted away now off Melbourne. No, off Illawarra. Melbourne ball. I'm going to say they got some rim there. So 14 seconds on the shot clock. Daniels inbounds. It is a home game for Melbourne at John Cain Arena. Yep, Gucci, it certainly is. Doyle steps out of bounds with the ball. So 4:06 on the clock. Illawarra will have possession. Deep in the defensive half on the sideline. So almost at baseline. Tanner Krebs tries to get up and put the pressure on Davo Hickey on the inbound pass. Doesn't work. Hickey brings it back over halfway. 4 minutes down. 6 minutes down. 4 to go in this second quarter. Harvey for a deep 3. That was well overcooked. Swatted back and didn't quite go over half court. They did very well there. Harvey collected it on the gallop. Gets up and under with a shovel shot. Doesn't go. Kurzlovic rebound. And they go down. Krebs back for Daniels. Daniels into the lane. Gets over Swakala Bullock. Doesn't go though. It spits back out. Swakala Bullock comes away. Lays it off now. Davo Hickey. Davo Hickey. Had to be a foul there. He's swatted up by 3 different players. He'll go to the line. I think that'll be a shooting foul. Try and get this back to a 10-point margin. Oh, well, good to have you with us, those of you who are still here. Bit of a deficit opening up, but as we saw last night, anything is possible in these games. Teams can fight back. Kurzlovic astounded that he's been called for the foul. He's got 2. Davo Hickey now at the line. This is his first one. The fans are up and about here. For those who haven't tuned into these watch-alongs before, don't know much about the NBL. The away team misses 2 free throws in an attempt. Back-to-back, then the fans get free Hungry Jack's burgers, and there it is. So on the NBL app, if you're tuning in Australia, the code is keeper. 2 missed free throws from the away side. This time Davo Hickey, which really crucial for Illawarra at the moment. Walker getting to work, gets into the lane, gives it back. Kurzlovic for 3. That's something you don't see too often. It wasn't too far away, but doesn't go. 3 minutes remaining in the first half. They swing it wide. Davo Hickey, Swakala Bullock goes back now. Peatling's there. Not Peatling, Blanchfield, sorry. Harvey, swatted down. 5 on the shot clock. Swakala Bullock gets in there. It bounces all around and eventually drops its way in. 2 points, 41-31. 2:35 in the first half. Walker steps inside, pass for Delaney. Shot's blocked. That's good for UNE. Kurzlovic swatted away as well. Good block, Yates. 41-31, Illawarra. Another bucket. Straight away turned over. No, it wasn't. It was 3 points. Sorry, not 2 points. There we go. 41-34. Scoreboard on the live stream was a bit out of whack there for them on ESPN. That's all right. We've got ours right. Inside the last 2 minutes of this first half. Illawarra trying to fight back. Foul drawn by Shea Illy. He'll go to the line. It'll be another shooting foul. The last 3 was hit by Blanchfield. His first points of the game. Shea Illy now at the line. Good to have you all tuning in. Almost half time here in this first game. We'll be back with 2 games tonight. So we'll have Perth versus Southeast Melbourne coming to you from RAC Arena over there in Perth a little later on. So Illy lining up the free throws. Gets them both. Back to a 9-point game. 1:45 remaining in the first half. PJ Peterson trying to create some space. Yates up against his opposite number and opposite man in Edwards. Now they work it around. Peterson again at the point. Sweeps in, gets inside 3, goes for a short 2, doesn't get it. A lob pass from Edwards straight away. Illy going to work. Well stopped by Blanchfield. Greeter comes away with it now. He's got Peterson wide if he can be smart. He can't. He turns it over. He makes some poor passes sometimes, but fortunately for him, Tyler Harvey saved his bacon. Open 3 now and drained. Blanchfield back-to-back 3s. Makes it 6-point ball game with 1:05 on the clock. Illawarra fighting back here. Remembering that Melbourne, you led by as much as 15 earlier in this quarter. Shea Illy's just walked straight out of the ground, out of the venue. I don't know what's happened there. That's going to be a big watch point for Melbourne. Already without Chris Golding, and now Shea Illy stormed out of the court. There must be something seriously wrong. That is bizarre. 1:02 on the clock. Now a turnover, Melbourne United. JaVale's got 4 rebounds so far, Jacory. Well, it's all going wrong for Melbourne at the moment. Illy gone. QJ Peterson, the jumper, doesn't get it to go. Oh, my goodness, I don't know how, but somehow Todd Blanchfield, no looks, popped that back in the hoop. 43-39, they are coming back here. Delaney, pop pass. No look shot. Delaney taps it in. That's good for UNE. Delaney getting another couple of points. He's up to 9, 4, and 2 now, so 15 already, just as we head towards half time. 10 seconds on the shot clock, 5.5 second differential shot clock to game clock. Harvey can't get it to go, but he's fouled in shooting, and he'll go to the line for Illawarra. What are you riding on those McGee rebounds, Jacory? And he's got under 12, so not looking too bad at the moment. JaVale, 6 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist as Harvey hits the first of his free throws, gets it to 5 points. 12.7 on the clock. Justin Tatum barking some orders, the coach. Jason Tatum from the Boston Celtics, old man, is the coach for Illawarra. Harvey gets a second. 45-41, 12.7 seconds on the clock. Enough time for a last response from Melbourne. They can have the last say here in the first half. We'll recap the scorers at half time, and then we'll take a little bit of a break once we get there. Milton Doyle, a little step past QJ Peterson. Then waved away. Got a foul on Peterson. They still had one to give. They've still got one to give now. Smart, because Doyle was blowing past him. Jesse Edwards driving into the paint. McGee gives a foul. That'll be a shooting foul from JaVale McGee. I'm not quite sure what he was thinking there. I don't think Edwards was actually going to land that bucket, but 1.4 on the clock. So that was the last, sorry. That will send them into the bonus now. This would have been a shooting foul anyway. As we head towards half time. So Edwards to the line. Krebs steps back in for the last 1.4 seconds. Edwards drains the first of his free throws, 46-41, 5-point ball game. Edwards rebounds. T.O., let's have a look. He is 6 rebounds. Let me know what you're chasing for him. He's got another free throw there. Oh, that is a little meltdown of the scoreboard there, guys. Apologies. Fixed now, 47-41. Long 3-point shot, banks off the backboard, but misses the hoop from Bales. So that is half time here, 47-41. The home side leading. The second team sitting second on the ladder. Up against an Illawarra side chasing play in basketball already. That is for sure. So Illawarra currently sitting from memory, I think there they are. They're in 8th place, just in front of Brisbane and Cairns. But let's run through the numbers here. We'll start with Illawarra. Leading the scoring, Tyler Harvey, 15 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Next up for them is Todd Blanchfield. He ran hot in that second quarter, 8 points, 4 rebounds, no assists. We've got Dave O'Hickey, 5 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. JaVale McGee, 6 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. And QJ Peterson, 5 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. For Melbourne United, Tyson Walker, 15 points, no rebounds, 1 assist. Finn Delaney, 9 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, so he's at 15. Tanner Krebs, 8 points, 2 rebounds, no assists. Jesse Edwards, 8 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. And Shea Illy, 7 points, no rebounds, 1 assist. Sobey, 28.5 PRA. Well, he's averaging 21.5 points per game. Not a renowned assister. But again, 21.5. It means he only needs 7 other stats. So it's just about, can he pick up 4 or 5 and outshoot his average? Look, again, don't take this as gambling advice. If I had to take a bet, I'd be going under. Yeah, he's going to have to shoot lights out to get past that. He is a shooter who just shoots. That is his go-to. So that's what I'd be expecting is, yeah, I'd be looking at that for you, T.O. But I'm going to take a break here for half time. I'll be back with you shortly. Give it about 9 or 10 minutes, and we'll be back with the second half. Melbourne United versus Illawarra NBL live watch-along on the Chris McPherson Show. If you haven't already, give the video a like, hit subscribe, and jump into the comments in that second half. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Let us know what you're cheering for. Well, welcome back for the second half. Here we are all set for play, almost underway here. Melbourne United against Illawarra. And it's game on. The Hawks have fought back. And here we go for the third quarter. 47-41 at the break. Good to have you all joining in. If you haven't already, give the video a like, hit subscribe. That'd really make my night. Little bounce past JaVale McGee. Dave O'Hickey coming through with the business. 4-point ball game. Melbourne United looking to strike back. Walker with a jumper, misses. McGee gets the rebound, but there's a foul. It's Edwards fouling McGee, so Illawarra ball. No, it's the other way around. They've turned that around. They've given it to Edwards. Now we've got a shot clock out of action. Oh, there's a bit of a drama now with a shot clock out of action. This is a little confusing, a little bizarre. They've gone over to the coaches to ask if they're prepared to proceed without that. And they've said, no, we're not prepared to proceed without working shot clocks. So 34 seconds gone in the second half. I'm just going to fix something up with our graphic here. Give me 1 second. Interesting times as they try and work this out and work out what the replacement's going to be for a busted shot clock. The shot clocks are down and the teams are standing around. So it's only one end that's cut out. There we go. They got the power back into one of them. One of the two shot clocks. The one on the side on. The one facing the court, though, is still out of action, which doesn't really work. No, it's off again. There's obviously some sort of wiring or fault issue here. I don't think I've ever seen this before where they just have one that they can't, despite trying to restart, doesn't work at all. So JaVale McGee's going to have a little sit down and a stretch. Just hearing that Shea Illy ruled out for the remainder of the game for Melbourne United. No confirmation on what the injury is, but he will not take any further part in tonight's match. Meanwhile, they still try and sort out this shot clock drama. Let's talk about what Melbourne's got to look forward to. And they've got 2 games against Tasmania in their next 3. They also play Brisbane in between those, Cairns and then Sydney. So these next 4 games, 4 winnable games, all teams sitting outside of the play-in spots at the moment. In the bottom 4, Tasmania is 7th at the moment. So that will be interesting. Still waiting for progress. Good to have you sticking around with us, guys. The handful of you that are still here. Get involved in the comments. Let us know what you're looking at, what you're chasing here as we try and work out what's happening. Players are moving, but they're moving back to their benches. But let's talk about Illawarra's next 5 games. They've got a tough run from here. They take on Adelaide and Sydney, 2 of the in-form teams. They head home again. So Adelaide will be in Illawarra. Sydney will be on Christmas Day in Sydney. Looking forward to it. I'm actually going to be in person attending that one. Can't wait to get down to another basketball game. They'll then have Tassie and Cairns both at home before they head to South East Melbourne early in the new year. So some interesting games for their run. Speaking of interesting games, we've got a slate of NBL. For those of you that like to wager on the NBL, it is non-stop basketball all the way through from last night's game. We go all the way through till I think it's around about the 4th of January. No, the 5th of January before we miss a day. The 6th is the next day on this run where we will not see a live NBL match. We'll be bringing plenty of them to you. We'll have both of the games tonight, Perth and Southeast Melbourne. We'll probably bring you Cairns and New Zealand, all being well, tomorrow night. Then we'll have a couple of nights off. We'll have Illawarra and Adelaide on Saturday. They'll play, as will Southeast Melbourne and Brisbane. Then Tassie and Perth into Sydney and Cairns at the doubleheader on Sunday. Monday we'll be back with Brisbane up against New Zealand. Tuesday we'll bring you the John Cain Arena game again, this same venue, Melbourne United versus Tassie Jack Jumpers. I think from memory that's the open air game, so they'll have the roof open as we're still waiting for this shot clock to get fixed. And then we'll go to Christmas Eve. We'll be having a little bit of a spell then. Adelaide and Cairns. Sydney will play Illawarra on Christmas Day. As I said, I'm going to be in attendance at that one around family Christmas functions. I'm then going to be on a bit of a break. We'll have some short form videos, but we won't have live watch-alongs over the next few days. But Boxing Day, Tasmania, New Zealand, Brisbane, Melbourne on the 27th, Adelaide, Perth on the 28th. That'll be a big one as Bryce Cotton welcomes his former team into the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. The 29th, we've got Tassie and Southeast Melbourne. The 30th, we've got Sydney and the Brisbane Bullets. That'll be an interesting one. And I think that's what we're aiming to be back, Sydney and the Brisbane Bullets. We'll hopefully do that one. And then we go into New Year's Eve. Again, probably have some commitments that night, so we might not have any content for you on the 31st. Illawarra and Tasmania and Cairns and Southeast Melbourne. New Year's Day, Brisbane and Perth. The 2nd, we then go to Adelaide and Sydney. So we'll probably do a watch along of that one. That'll be Friday night, the 2nd. Then the 3rd, we have the weekend. We have the double header again. Illawarra, Cairns on the Saturday into Tasmania, Melbourne. We're just having a look at this Shea Ili injury again while we wait on the replay. Nothing coming. Still no action, though. It doesn't look like anything major, but we know that he's had a couple of hamstring injuries earlier in the year, so it could be that. January 4th, we've got the Breakers and the Wildcats into the Bullets and the 36ers. January 5th will be the Kings against Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. We won't be back till the Wednesday night, though, because that's then the gap for the Monday. The Monday night is the game, the Kings and Southeast Melbourne. Tuesday is the gap. Wednesday, we will be back with Melbourne and Cairns, and then we'll be back into a bit more of a usual rhythm. We'll probably have a Friday night watch-along as well, either Thursday or Friday night, because we're going to be doing some cricket watch-alongs in that period as well with the T20 Big Bash competition heating up here in Australia. We've had some demand for that, so we'll do a bit of both mixed up in between there. So looking forward to seeing what it all brings, but the best way to stay up to date with all of those is to stay tuned here at the Chris McPherson Show. If you haven't already, give the video a like, get involved in the comments, and hit subscribe too. Still nothing here. The teams are both out just shooting about now, so this is a bit of a debacle, to be honest. It's going to drag us out, and it probably means that the next game is going to run a little late, but so that is how the cookie crumbles, I suppose. If anyone knows any good jokes, that's about the point of the night we're getting to now. While we wait for what happens here, the shot clock at one end of John Cain Arena has completely blacked out. They can't repair it at the moment. I'm not sure what the solution is, but both the teams are just going through a bit of a shoot around now after just 34 seconds of the second half. We touched on it earlier. Chris Goulding out of action for Melbourne United tonight, one of their stars. They've lost Shea Ili, their Kiwi gun, and their captain. He's some sort of injury. He went off in the second quarter. We haven't had it confirmed, but we're suspecting maybe a hamstring. Then in other NBL news, the Brisbane Bullets have sacked their coach, Stu Lash. You've got a feel for Lash because he's had a tough year there. So officially, the press release says that he stepped down from his role. Brisbane are 5 and 13 currently. And in the statement released by the club, the Bullets have confirmed that assistant Darryl McDonald will assume the role of interim head coach while the search for a replacement for a permanent role continues. And the club CEO revealed the club's already in advanced discussions with a potential candidate, which is interesting when they say that Lash then decided to step down. So Lash said, after a lot of thoughts and discussions, I've decided to step down as head coach of the Brisbane Bullets. We went into this season with excitement and expectations. I want nothing but success for the players, staff, fans, and sponsors, and I'll continue to support the club. So McDonald will step straight into the role, and they are focused on Saturday's game, they have said, against South East Melbourne. But I tell you what, this has been a little while in coming by the sound of it. Code Sports are reporting that the conversation was initiated back in round 11 after they got beat 25 points to the Adelaide 36ers. So it's been a campaign that was supposed to be the resurrection of Brisbane, but the Bullets just hasn't gone the way they thought. Optimistic start of the season. They signed Jalen Adams, the former MVP, had a Javon Freeman Liberty, bringing Casey Prather back, and it looked like they were heading in the right direction. But Adams departed, Javon Freeman Liberty departed. He's come back. Casey Prather, season-ending injury. There's been constant flux, and yeah, it's hard. Lash, first year of a 3-year deal, and now becomes the second Bullets coach in less than 12 months to depart before seeing out his contract. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. So we'll wait and see. Still waiting for the shot clock. Jacory, I can give you Doyle assists. I can give you all sorts of stats while we're waiting. Anything to fill the time. Milton Doyle, 2 assists so far. 0 points. 0 from 3 so far. 1 rebound, 2 assists. So speaking of that, the shooting, and this has been an Achilles heel for both teams tonight. Melbourne United, 34% from the field. Illawarra, 39%. That is subpar for both of these sides and really disappointing. So we'll wait and see what happens here with this shot clock, but we're just treading water for the time being, guys. I'm just going to throw a note in the comments for anyone joining in after the fact so I don't have to keep repeating. I will get that for you in a moment. Jacory, what are we looking for? We're looking for some Edwards and McGee rebounds. JaVale McGee, 4 rebounds. Jesse Edwards, 6 rebounds. 5 defensive rebounds, 1 offensive for Edwards, 2 and 2 for JaVale McGee. But I tell you what, we'll keep treading water here. One of the things that you can't really predict or project. So, just waiting. The commentators are keeping us engaged. We've got Jack Heverin, their lead commentator here. Derek Rucker, former Brisbane Bullet, the 1990 NBL MVP, and Andrew Gaze, the only man outside of Bryce Cotton to have more than 5 or more MVP awards in this competition. 7-time NBL MVP. What's McGee out there doing? He hasn't been doing a lot, to be honest. He had a very slow start to this game, Jacory, that is for certain. But we are waiting now for this clock issue to be sorted out. It's a bit of a watch and wait situation. 34 seconds gone in the third quarter, but yeah, McGee, a lot of early Dave O'Hickey, and they weren't combining. McGee's not shooting well. He's shooting at 33%. Yeah, it's been tough for a couple of imports for Illawarra. 33% for McGee, 22% for QJ Peterson. It looks like we're good to go again. We're going to get started here, fortunately. Equally, Shea Illy, he was 33% before he went off. So, a number of these players just really struggling. And, when we have a look through the list for Melbourne United, Fabian Kerswick, none from 5. Milton Doyle, none from 3. Dash Daniels, none from 3. Some really poor shooting. But we are back underway. That is the main thing. We've got some action. And Illawarra have got the ball. They trail by 4. 50 seconds gone in this first quarter. Ball lobbed over the top. Mason Peatling doesn't go. Edwards gets another rebound. So that will add to his tally. He'll go to 7 rebounds now, Jesse Edwards. As they switch it wide, Krebs, little pop pass for Delaney, doesn't get it. Swackler Bullock gets the rebound. Good to have you all tuning in. Let us know where you were tuning in from. Give the video a like and hit subscribe if you don't mind. That'd be wonderful. JaVale McGee goes to the hoop, misses, tips it back, gets it on the second attempt. There we go. Two-point ball game now. Melbourne United, Walker, step back, thinks about the 3, decides to lay it off for Krebs. Edward outside the arc. He's going to go mano-a-man against JaVale McGee, and he'll come out on top. Gets the 2, does Edwards. Takes himself to double digits. 10 points now for Edwards, 7 rebounds. A good return for him. Tyler Harvey working it around. Gets it inside. Peatling lobs it up for McGee. McGee gets 2. That's better from the Hawks. 49-47, 2 minutes gone in the third quarter. Jacory, NC. You have to. Is that saying that you're in North Carolina? I'm not quite sure. Bucket goes down for Krebs. Keeps it at 4 points. No contest. You got me guessing. That'd be huge, Harry, but I don't know as a Steel City rival whether we want Illawarra winning as Newcastle people, Novocastrians. That's a foul as Krebs goes up for a little jumper, but good to have you on, mate. I'm sure you're bouncing between some basketball and some cricket tonight, maybe a bit of A-League as well. It's all happening. Got A-League tonight? No, A-League till tomorrow night this round. A-League's the soccer league here in Australia for those of you tuning in from overseas. What's happening in the cricket, Harry? What we got tonight? The Stars. They play Stars and the Hurricanes. Melbourne versus Hobart. As Tanner Krebs gets his first free throw, make it a 5-point margin. Illawarra just got a sniff there. They got to within 2. As Krebs extends it back out to 6. Walker hustling on Dave O'Hickey, trying to keep him from going over halfway. Dave O'Hickey spots an open lane, gets an open lane, gets an open layup, and misses everything. Hurricanes 6 for 151. There you go. Had a quick look at the half-time break. Delaney going up, gets stopped. Last touch of Illawarra, though. So it will be Melbourne United inbound at the baseline. 7 minutes on the clock here in the third quarter. 7 to go, that is. Great to have you all tuning in. Get into those comments. Don't be shy. Missed 3-pointer. Swackler Bullock goes all the way, and just Jesse Edwards swats it away. Thank you for coming, Wani Swackler Bullock, but thank you for going as well, he says. The big don't argue. Great work there from the big Dutchman. He is looking like he's back in full flight. Hickey inbounds it. Edwards bats it out again, batting up against against McGee. Blanchfield checks in. Harvey gets the inbound. Bounce pass to McGee. He's double teamed. He's going to try and find his way free. Gets it into Swackler Bullock. He's under pressure. Dave O'Hickey's free on the other wing. Harvey goes for 3. Drains it. 3-point game again. They bring up the 50. Another wicket in the cricket. Thank you, Harry. Now, Walker takes on Swackler Bullock. Gets around. Looks for the mismatch. Delaney for 3. Leaves it short. Edwards gets a touch. Referee points both ways. I don't know what he's doing. He's gone left. He's gone right. He's gone up. He doesn't know whether it's day or night. Let's work out what's going on here. He pointed one way, then he changed his mind, and then he kind of hesitated and changed it back the other. A little bizarre if you ask me. He pointed Melbourne United ball first, then said Illawarra ball. It's ended up Melbourne United ball. Edwards had a free shot for 3 then if he wanted it. Walker, 9 on the shot clock. Getting around. Cycle the bullock there. Goes over the top of JaVale McGee. That's well done. He's giving away a foot in height and still gets over the top of the big man. 55-50. 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Blanchfield driving on. Foul goes against Delaney. Yeah, hopefully you're watching the KO coverage, not the Channel 7 coverage, Harry. Used to be good when it was on Channel 10. I used to like that. A lot of the guys that are on KO on Fox now doing the cricket. Swung around. Harvey. Swakala Bullock thinks about it. Gives it over the top to McGee. Gets it to go on the second bounce. 55-52. 5:37 on the clock. Oh, Edwards. He's nearly trapped there. That'll be a jump ball. Work QJ Peterson. He realised there was a bit of a fumble there from Edwards, and Edwards ended up with a trap between his legs. Jump ball will be Melbourne United ball at the baseline. Edwards and McGee will check out. Kerslovic and Yates will check in. Another 2 points for Delaney. Harvey with an air ball. Overshot the three-pointer. Finn Delaney racking up the numbers. The number 21 we're looking for PRA. He's at 18. And there's 3, so he's hit the 21. Everything else is just gravy from here. I think it was NE betting on Harvey before, on Delaney before. QJ Peterson, a little fake shot, then goes up with the next one, gets it back to a 6-point margin after that little Melbourne United run, all from Phil Delaney, there's a new one. Delaney shovels it off to Walker. Pass swung out. Kerslovic from the right wing. The big man gets 3 points. Melbourne United on a hot run now. Peterson, 17.5 points, TO. He's at 7 at the moment. You're going to need something from him. He's only shooting at 30% from the field at the moment, which is not great by his standards. Walker up over the top. Delaney tried for the tap in, but I think it'll be credited to Walker there. And all of a sudden, 11-point ball game. They got back to within 2. But it's stretched back out now. They haven't let it all tonight, Illawarra. Finn Delaney shooting the lights out, playing a big game. He stepped up in the absence of Chris Golding. Walker 19, Delaney 14, Krebs 12, Edwards 10. 4 players in double digits already, just past the midway point of the third quarter. 4:21 to come. Great to have you all with us. Let us know where you're tuning in from. McGee to stay under 12 rebounds. So, yeah, right. So you're under 11.5, I'm assuming, 11 or less. He's currently at 5, so that's going to be a nervous watch here. Okay, but nervous nonetheless. Tinkle leading the rebound count. You know, Edwards is leading the rebound count with 7. Then you've got Delaney and JaVale with 5 each. Finn Delaney, 21 PRA, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. He's got it done tonight. Nice when your overs bet cashes midway through the third quarter. If you're just joining us now, make sure to give the video a like. We always appreciate that. If you want to hit subscribe as well, never hurts. We're trying to hit that 600 subscribers by the first week of the new year. That's the goal. A little optimistic, but we'd love to. Windler will play in the later game, TO. He's in the Perth Wildcats Southeast Melbourne game. As Yates gets 2. And we'll get the and 1 as well, so that helps. He'll go to the line, big Lukey Yates. Draws the shooting foul. But yeah, Windler will be playing for Perth later on. Kerslovic and Doyle both with 3 personal fouls for Melbourne United. Just checking the foul trouble. Lonnie Swakala Bullock as well with 3 for Illawarra. As Delaney goes down the court himself, gets himself somehow 1 on 4. And then Krebs goes with a 3-pointer and drains it because all the defenders were in the key trying to shut down one man. QJ Peterson lays it off. Dave Hickey barks instruction, sends him on a run. Yates tries to set a screen, not that effective. Flicked out the back. Greeder thinks about a 3, decides better of it. Works his way into the paint and gets 2. Not wrong way there. Let's get that score up to date. We're 1 point short, 59. And Delaney dunks one. He is putting on a show tonight. Finn Delaney up to 16 points. 3:07 on the clock. Now QJ Peterson doing lots of work. Sliding around, goes for the bucket. Another miss for him. Illawarra get the stop. Now Dave Hickey goes in, lays it in for Yates. He leaves it short, but draws the foul. He'll go to the line again. Edwards, no, Walker with the foul. That'll be his second, I think. So Lukey Yates will go to the line. Just trying to fix a couple of technical pieces. So Yates at the line now. Missed his first, missed his second. Score remains 70-59. The crowd's already got free burgers, so nothing to cheer for there at all. Big catches in the cricket. There we go. Thanks, Harry. Check that out a little bit. I'll have to check that out in the break between games, maybe, Harry. I'm sure it'll be in the highlights. I'll tell you what, for those of you who haven't got into some cricket, if you want to get into some cricket, start checking out the highlights of the Big Bash on YouTube, the BBL, the Aussie Domestic T20 League. It's certainly highlight reel stuff, very exciting. Melbourne with the inbound. They lead by 11, 2:15 on the clock here in the third. Bowen's out there, switches it for Doyle. Doyle's been quiet. Bounce pass for Bowen. Bowen gets up, doesn't go, tries to tip it in. Edwards gets the rebound, goes up again, misses the ball. And McGee gets a little touch on it before it goes out of bounds. Edwards getting his own rebounds and reshots. He's up to 8 rebounds already. McGee still just the 5 though, NE. Good news as Bowen gets 2. They're out to a 13-point lead. Plenty of boards tonight. Dave Hickey just draws into the paint and flicks it up for McGee, who slams it home. And that's what they look like when they do it well. Walker gets clipped by QJ Peterson. Tell you what, T.O. Peterson shoots himself in the foot often enough. But he is 3 from 11 at the moment. He's given you 7 points. He's going to need to get on his bike if you want those points. Walker spins. Again, 3 defenders on 1 man. Gives it out. Machar back. Walker. Doyle for 3. Overcooks it. Edwards with another rebound. And then he's fouled. QJ Peterson, another foul. That's 2 in about 20 seconds. 1:26 on the clock in the third quarter. They're not in the bonus. Won't be a shooting foul. Edwards reverses in, loses possession there. He's come off second best, which you don't see often. And my, oh my, he makes that look easy, does Todd Blanchfield. Back to under 10 points. Minute 10 to go in this third quarter. Milton Doyle going to work. Little jumper. Doesn't go. Edwards rebound. But they're going to say Illawarra ball here. Bucket doesn't count. Yeah, foul called on Edwards. Illawarra are in the bonus, so they'll go down to the free throw line for 2 free throws with 1 minute on the clock in the third quarter. JaVale McGee, the man at the line. He's rocketed up to 14 points. With that first free throw. No, 15 points with the first free throw. 72-64, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. And hits the second as well. 7-point ball game. They don't go quite fully away at any point, the Hawks. Bowen now drives down court, swings it down on the left wing, drops it back for Machar. Into the paint. Krebs trying to spin away from Dave O'Hickey. Dave O'Hickey just steals it off his hand. Gives it to QJ Peterson. Blanchfield for 3. Doesn't go. Swatted down nicely for QJ Peterson. He leaves it short, but JaVale McGee gets up and gets it in. Nice little unintentional alley-oop. 5-point ball game. 25 on the clock. 8.5 second differential shot clock to game clock. Edwards is going to spin against McGee, and McGee swats it away, says, don't come here with that rubbish. He is up and about now, JaVale McGee. He's got 16 points. Second leading scorer for the Hawks behind Tyler Harvey. Blanchfield's got 10 as well. It is starting to look a little bit like game on here. As Machar can't get it, but he gets fouled. Foul will be on Dave O'Hickey, and Machar will go to the line. They'll say it's a shooting foul. He's in the key. Might have been looking for an alley-oop. Might be generous to say that. Harvey's going to check in. Peterson, is it checking out? Excuse me. Bryce Cotton checking out. Bryce Cotton. Milton Doyle checking out. My goodness. Machar gets his first one nice and clean. Back to a 6-point ball game. 18.4 seconds on the clock here. So Illawarra, if they're smart, should have the last genuine possession. Gets another one, the dual national. Dual heritage, South Sudanese and Australian. 7-point ball game. Dave O'Hickey. Off for Harvey. Blanchfield, he's been good tonight. Dave O'Hickey feints the 3, steps back, steps in, steps back, goes to the hoop, doesn't go. Won't have enough time for another bucket. So 7-point ball game at 3/4 time. The Hawks, they fall a little further behind. They've lost all 3 quarters so far. The first by 4, the second by 2, the third by 1. They've trailed by as much as 15 in the second quarter, 12 in the third. They fight back, but they don't close the deficit down overall. That's their challenge. Good to have you all with us. Let us know where you're tuning in from. If you haven't already, give the video a like. It'd be greatly appreciated. Like a click on the subscribe button and hit the bell as well. That way you'll know when we're going live, when we're dropping episodes. And thank you to those of you who provided me with some suggestions around putting some stats on. We will try and work that out in the coming weeks, days, one of the two, around all the other commitments. Plenty of content coming on the channel, though. Got some soccer. We've got some tennis coming in the next couple of weeks as well. Basketball, obviously. Cricket, plenty of that. Before you know it, we'll be into the winter sports here in Australia. So plenty happening. Bit of Formula One. We love a bit of that. It'll have a little spell for a couple of months, although it's only... What do we work out today? I think it's somewhere around about 10.5 weeks until the Formula One season gets back underway in Australia here. Of course, you'll have Formula One testing, which will get everything off before that. And testing means Drive to Survive comes out, which is always exciting. And we'll have all the teams releasing their liveries and colours and everything else, including the new teams or the newly badged teams like Audi, Cadillac, the new team as well. Plenty to come. 3/4 time here, though, 74-67. I think most of the teams will be doing it across January. So the 15th to 23rd, looking through all of it. And yeah, January 26th is the first of the preseason testing. So we're looking forward to that as we get underway here in the 4th quarter. JaVale McGee's on the ball. Gives it off to Tyler Harvey. Blanchfield's there. Now back again. Blanchfield swings it wide. And it's fumbled. Swakala Bullock, the pass was a little too hot for him. Just repeating the news from earlier. Shea Illy out of the game. And out in the 2nd quarter with what looks like a possible reoccurrence of his hamstring injury. And also, they're without Chris Golding tonight. So this is a good showing from this Melbourne side. Coming off the back of 4 straight losses. You wonder when they could turn the tide. Dash Daniels driving into the lane. Doesn't get it. JaVale McGee, another rebound. That'll take him up to, I believe, 6 now, possibly 7. We'll wait for the stats to make sure they update. QJ Peterson going into the paint. JaVale McGee gets the misdirected pass falling into his bread basket. There's QJ Peterson back up 3 seconds on the shot clock. He's not going to get it away. He does get it away. Oh, I'll tell you what, that nearly dropped for him too. That was an outrageous and outlandish shot if it had have landed for a 3. He was running away, fading and falling, just scrambling to get something up. I thought he was going to do well just to hit the hoop. But it nearly dropped in. 74-67, 8 minutes 40 on the clock. Walker turns everyone inside out, slices back away from 2. The screen works. Open Dash Daniels. 3 points. That's how it's done from the young 18-year-old. Happy birthday, Dash. 3 points to celebrate. Clean as you like. JaVale McGee barking instructions to fellow import QJ Peterson. Setting a screen. They flick it out. Blanchfield. Harvey now wide on the right wing. Looking for an option in the paint. McGee's there. He's also outside 3. I was about to say I'd be surprised if he hit a 3. He shoots one. Doesn't hit it though. 10-point ball game. Blanchfield steals it on the way through. Gets himself to 77-69. Good eyes up basketball from Todd Blanchfield. Takes himself to 12 points. He's been a solid contributor off the pine tonight. One of his better games we've seen this year. Delaney now. One-on-one with Blanchfield. We've got a foul here. I think it's going to be on JaVale McGee looking at his body language. It's the 3rd time these sides have come together this year. So we look back at the birthday boys 3. Clean as you like from Dash Daniels. A little quiet in the comments, guys. Get involved. Get around it. What are we chasing? What are we thinking in the next game? Perth and Southeast Melbourne. Any other questions about the NBL or random sports chat? Happy to talk NBA, NFL, anything you want. Get involved in those comments while we're going here. 77-69. 7 minutes 46 to go in the 4th quarter. Inbound ball here. Walker. Kerslovic open 3. Goes in, but spits straight back out. McGee gets another rebound. That'll take him up to 8 rebounds. Starting to get a little nervy there on the 12, under 12 for you, NE. I'm going to go on a run here. Long pass. Looking for Dash Daniels, but he needed to be about another 1.5 foot taller for that pass from Walker, and it rockets over the baseline. Illawarra Hawks possession. So you got Melbourne United. I'm not quite sure how they're winning this game. Shooting at 37.8% from the field. Jesse's rebounds. He's on 9. What are you chasing there again, Ja'Cory? Just remind me. JaVale McGee working in the paint. Gives it off. Mason Peatling. A little bit of a heavy-handed dribble. 4 seconds on the shot clock. McGee from the free throw line. Doesn't go. Peterson tried to get the rebound, but was outlet by Daniels. They just don't look like they're really organised. No one's controlling the offense for Illawarra. But as I said, as Melbourne go for 3, McGee, Kerslick probably lucky not to give a foul there. Takes the rebound, so that'll be 9 rebounds now for JaVale McGee. They just don't look like they've got any creation going on. Dave O'Hickey stopped. Joe Lowell points. He's in the next game, mate. We talked about that before. He's playing for Perth in the next game, but I'll keep you up to date on that one in the next time slot. 6:22 on the clock. Walker gets up and over, misses it. Kerslovic throws it back. Delaney thinks about a 3. Shot clock reset. Down to 9, though. Delaney in the paint. Ball slapped away by Tyler Harvey. And they're going to call a foul. This might be worth a challenge, I think. Hook the arm after the fact, maybe, but I don't know about that. Being a foul, let's do a foul check. Anyone in foul trouble at the moment? Kerslovic and Doyle both on 3. Edwards on 3 for Melbourne United. Delaney at the line. 3s for Hickey, Swakala Bullock, and QJ Peterson still. So no one really in significant foul trouble. Delaney gets the first free throw, 78-69, 6:11 on the clock. And the second. 79-69, 6:10 to go here. Melbourne United 20 from 20 free throws tonight. That is impressive. Illawarra 7 from 11. And we've had a collision of bodies. Buckets waved away. Have we got an offensive foul here on Peatling? Let's have a look at the replay. He's set. He looks set. Oh, right heel comes up. Does he just pivot into him? Wonder if they're going to go for a coach's challenge there. Be half worth it. Doyle assist. Sorry, mate. I missed that there, Ja'Cory. Milton Doyle. There we go. He is at 3 assists, mate. Yep, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, no points. He's none from 5. He is none from 5. Malith Mashar is none from 2. Dash Daniels is 1 from 5. And Fabian Kerslovic is 1 from 7. Melbourne United are having an absolute shocker. They're 9 from 27 from 3-point, shooting at 33%. They're not much better from the rest of the field, shooting at 36.7% overall. So, dear oh dear. Interesting times. Illawarra are doing their best to not win this, I tell you what. And Melbourne United, much the same. They're getting it done, but far from convincing. 36% shooting. Illawarra not much better at 40% shooting. Those free throws, the difference. An extra 9 attempts at the free throw line in a 10-point game. Doyle finally gets himself a bucket. It's only taking us 34 and a bit minutes. He said that Melbourne needed to get to 90 in the pre-game. If they got to 90, they'd beat Illawarra. It's certainly looking like that's where they'll get to and looking like the case. JaVale McGee reversed into traffic. Doyle all over him. QJ Peterson gives it off for Dave O'Hickey. Doesn't go. Spins out. Goes out of bounds untouched. Melbourne United ball. 5:26 on the clock. Great to have you all tuning in. As we have Blanchfield checking back in. Got a pair of fluorescent orange kicks on that stand out and make it really easy to spot who's who. Now Melbourne United, Doyle driving into the paint. He's going to get up again, is he? No, he gives it off for Edwards. Edwards gets another 2. 83-69. They're out to almost their biggest lead of the game. Jesse Edwards has 9 rebounds. Finn Delaney, 7 rebounds. JaVale McGee's up to 10 rebounds. McGee gets the ball there. I don't think that'll class as a rebound, but he's copped a poke in the eye. Now, JaVale McGee is a big man, but I think it's fair to say he is prone to some melodramatics. I'm sure it doesn't tickle to get poked in the eye at pace from another big man, but yeah, again, he doesn't mind selling some things. I hope he is all right. No, but isn't anything major now that we've, somewhat made light of it. Let's have a look at the replay. A little flick from Delaney there. Delaney got a nice elbow in the chops as well. Now, my oh my. McGee coming off after that. Can't carry on. Disappointing. He's got a little bit of redness around the eye. Ball swung wide. Peterson for 3. Oh, it spiraled around the hoop and spat back out. Yeah, Harry, I'm feeling a couple of big days. Big day commentating yesterday, as well as live streams and podcast recording the last couple of days. Put out quite a few episodes. I think we've done 5 in the last 2 days podcast, plus 2 games of cricket yesterday. Game of basketball as Milton Doyle gets another bucket. Out to their biggest lead of the game. They're sealing this one off, Melbourne United. Then we'll have commentary again tomorrow into a live stream tomorrow night. It's a big few days, that is for certain. You'll be enjoying the Jets soccer tomorrow night, working at the Newcastle Jets A-League Women's Clash Friday night. It's going to be a warm one here in Newcastle. 3-point shot. Oh my goodness, that hit the backboard, the side of the backboard. That was well offline. Under 4 minutes to go here. 11-2 run to start this quarter from Melbourne. Make that 13-2 as Walker gets another bucket. 87-69. And this is a timeout for Illawarra, and I think it's too little, too late. Yeah, 2-point quarter. Hey, Penguin, good to have you back. Yeah, Illawarra have gone to sleep. They've gone to sleep worse than Adelaide did last night. Melbourne just turning the screws, outclassing them here. If you're just joining us, all you need is 12 rebounds from McGee. Well, NE needs under 12. You want over 12. And he's at 10. It's going to come down to the wire. Someone's going to be happy. Someone's not going to be happy. Hopefully we've kept you nice and up to date though, Jacory, along the way. And we'll be able to do that for your bets on Joe Luala, Chul and Co. in the next game too. Let's have a quick run through the leaders in the back of this timeout. 21 points for Tyson Walker. He's got 9 assists as well, knocking on the door of a double-double. Finn Delaney, 18 points. 7 rebounds and 3 assists. Tanner Krebs, 15 points. 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Fabian Kerslovic, 3 points. Not much to talk about there. Jesse Edwards, 12 points. 10 rebounds and 2 assists. So he has got the double-double. Well, hopefully we'll have you back plenty more, Jacory. As I said, we're mostly midweek, but we're going to try and bring lots more NBL to keep you engaged and online and keep you up to date when you're having your little bets as well, or your big bets, depending on how you go about it, as the Hawks get one back. 4 points for the quarter. Look out. Here they come. 3:24 on the clock. Slapped out of bounds. Blanchfield breaks up the play. And they've really gone with kind of their second unit here now. Harvey's still out there, but Wally Bales, Blanchfield. Well, Blanchfield's been really good for them tonight. 12 points, 6 rebounds. They loft it long. Krebs for 3. Doesn't quite go. We're going to have a foul against Milton Doyle. Reaching in on Dave O'Hickey. 3:18 on the clock. 16-point ball game. Tell you what, we've seen some weird and wonderful things in the NBL this season, but I don't see them coming back from here, Illawarra. Just can't see it happening. You very rarely score 4 points in 7 minutes and then score 17 unanswered in 3. Wiley Bales hasn't had a lot of time this season. Goes to the hoop, gets 2 points, cuts the deficit to 14. Great if they get a bit of respectability and make it back below 10. Melbourne United, they don't play again until next Tuesday night against the Jack Jumpers as Milton Doyle continues with his flurry late. 3 points here. That'll take him up to 7. He had none heading into this quarter. His last 3 shots straight. Wiley Bales just mishandles. Walker comes away with it. Delaney flicks it off, and Krebs drains another 2. They are taking the mickey here now. The good news for you, NE, is that JaVale McGee is not returning after that eye injury, it looks like. Certainly they're not bringing him back out at the moment. Dave O'Hickey puts it up, leaves it short. Walker with a rebound. Walker's got 10 assists now too, 21 points, 10 assists. So a double-double for him, a double-double for Edwards returning off the bench, which is good to see. United fans will be happy about that. Milton Doyle doesn't get it to drop, but he does get fouled. So he will go to the line for 2 free throws. And to continue to blow this out beyond 20, this lead. And Justin Tatum, understandably, looks frustrated, confused, a little bit annoyed. It's a whole mix of emotions. Great to have you all tuning in. Please, if you haven't already, hit subscribe, hit the bell as well to get those notifications, and give us a like on the video. All helps to grow the channel. As I said, we really want to try and get to 600 subscribers in the next 3 weeks. That's the goal. A wonderful late Christmas present. As Milton Doyle drains his free throws. They lead by 21 points, the biggest lead of the afternoon or the evening, morning, depending on where you're watching. Oh, you take them when you can get them, NE. You take them when you can get them. As Illawarra gets a miss. Pressure on here. Melbourne get a miss. Illawarra get a stop. 1:18 to go. See what, Delaney's had a good game. Here's Wiley Bales driving in. Working it around. Luke Yates has done pretty well as well. Good stuff, Chikori. Love that, mate. All right, guys, let me know based on what you've heard. Who's your player of the match? Walker, Delaney, Edwards, I reckon, are the pick here. You maybe argue Tanner Krebs. As Wilson steps in for his first action, Tom Wilson, basically, and he drains a 3. That is just taking the mickey. Tyson Walker, yeah, look, 21 points, 10 assists. That's pretty good numbers. Impressed with Delaney, 18 and 7. Double-double for Edwards. He had a 3-pointer waved away because it was after the foul. Melbourne bringing in all the rotations now. Coppins and Wilson in for some minutes, as is Campbell Blogg. 30 seconds on the clock here. 14 seconds. Yeah, it's a strong word, but you are not wrong, Penguin. That is for sure. Wiley Bales. They have looked short of creation. And then Johnny Narkle takes a shot. Ball's been taken out of bounds by Bowen. He's objecting. The referee tells him there's no good doing that. They've got 0.7 of a second difference between shot clock and game clock. Illawarra just going to try and drag this out, but Melbourne United have done enough to seal it. I tell you what, there you go. There's some points for the Hawks from Swakala Bullock. If I'm a Melbourne United fan, I'm not taking a lot from this game. I'm not thinking, wow, we really stood out. But no Chris Golding, lost Shea Illy. Edwards returned well. Take some positives. As Bowen misses, but he's fouled. Is he? No. That will be full time. 97-75. They wave the foul off. That will do us. Yeah, pretty ordinary finish from Illawarra. I've seen more fight from some wet tissue paper. 23-8 in that final quarter. They just completely folded, and that's been Illawarra this year. Really disappointing. But as always, big thank you to you for tuning in. Quickly run through them. Walker, 21 points, 10 assists, 2 rebounds. Finn Delaney, 18 points, 4 assists, 7 rebounds. Tanner Krebs, 17 points, 1 assist, 2 rebounds. Milton Doyle, 9 points, all in the third quarter, 4 assists, 5 rebounds, all at the defensive end. And Jesse Edwards, double-double as well, 12 points, 2 assists, 10 rebounds. For the Hawks, JaVale McGee got a double-double, 18 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists. I'll have a look as well at him for blocks, I would suggest. Yeah, just the 1 block and 1 steal. There you go. Not a big night for him. Tyler Harvey, 18 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Dave O'Hickey, 9 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. And then we're looking down to Todd Blanchfield, a good cameo, 12 points, 7 rebounds. QJ Peterson, 7 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, really quiet. But again, neither team shooting at much more than 40%. Melbourne United got back to 41 with a late run. But a big thank you to you all. Jesse Edwards gets your man of the match as it stands. I'm not mad about that. The Dutchman did well off the pine. We'll be jumping across to our other live stream shortly. We'll be getting underway in a couple of minutes for Perth versus South East Melbourne Phoenix. Thanks for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you over there. If you haven't already, hit subscribe, give the video a like, and we'll talk to you again soon. Yeah, Jacori, that is full time, my friend. 97-75.